Hi everybody, Dan Illman here, taking a look at race number 10 at the fairgrounds on Saturday. It's the Grade 3 Louisiana Stakes, going a mile and a 16th for older horses. Before we get to the analysis, check out this great offer presented by our friends at Woodbine. It's the DRF Horse of the Year Fan Vote Sweepstakes. Submit your vote for a chance to win a trip to the Queen's Plate at Woodbine. Head on over to drf.com/eclipse for all the terms and conditions. Here's the field for the Grade 3 Louisiana Stakes. It's a wide open affair for these older horses, going a mile and a 16th. The Honest Silver Dust is your 3-1 morning line favorite, but close behind is Blended Citizen, a graded stakes winner in his own right. You've got Gunnett, who cost $2.6 million as a yearling and has all the upside in the world, and the wonderful Mexican-bred Kukulcan, who is 16 for 20 in his illustrious career. Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this year's edition of the Louisiana. You notice it's a blue bar scenario, and in Timeform US parlance, that means that this race could favor horses close to the pace, and the horse expected to make the lead is the number 4 Gunnett, who certainly has shown that tactical speed in the past, and the 2 Silver Dust should also be part of that pace. Those two horses might have a bit of an advantage. My Boy Jack, on the other hand, the number 1 who we see last on the pace projector, well, he's going to hope our friends at Timeform US, well, they're wrong, because this horse needs some pace to do his best. Let's go back to his last win. April 2018, the Grade 3 Lexington Stakes at Keeneland. Here comes My Boy Jack on the outside in the green silks. He wins a stirring stretch drive. This race propelled him to the 2018 Kentucky Derby, where he ran a pretty good 5th behind eventual Triple Crown winner Justify. But My Boy Jack hasn't won a race since that Lexington. They've run him on turf. They've run him on dirt. I think Keith DeZormo is still trying to figure out what this horse's best surface is, but what we do know is he needs some pace, and I'm not sure that the pace is going to quite set up for My Boy Jack. It should set up very well for Silver Dust. And friends, I knew what I was getting into last time out. I bet this horse at 7-1 in the Grade 3 Lucas Classic. Even though my spider sense said a mile and an eighth in Silver Dust, it's like oil and water. Silver Dust ran very well. He prompted the leader. He took over 3 furlongs from home, and it just took a wind machine named Mosito Rojo to run him down by a neck. He ran great that day, and the horse that he pressed into defeat, the pace setter Pioneer Spirit, he came back to win with a 105 Beyer speed figure and recently won a stakes race. So Silver Dust should get a nice kind pace scenario, and most importantly is cutting back to this mile and a 16th distance. In my opinion, he's the horse to beat. He's run very well at the fairgrounds in the past. The number 3 is Blended Citizen, and we'll have to go back to 2018 for Blended Citizen's career-defining victory, the Grade 3 Peter Pan at Belmont. Let's watch that race right now. Blended Citizen's on the outside. He's in 4th position right now, and he just wants this mile and an eighth distance over this wet track. He beats a nice horse in Core Beliefs. Now, it took him a long time to get back to the winner's circle after winning this race. 2 starts back winning at Churchill Downs, going a mile and a 16th in a race in which he got some pace. But he has a race at the fairgrounds this meet, the Tenacious Stakes, where he ran a rock-solid 2nd behind the aforementioned Pioneer Spirit. Well, I think this horse might appreciate a mile and an eighth a little bit more than a mile and a 16th. He is very capable at this distance, and if the pace slows down like Timeform US predicts, he can stay a little bit close to the pace. Don't count out Blended Citizen. If you're looking for the horse with the most upside, look no further than the number 4 Gunnett. Son of Tappet, $2.6 million yearling, lightly raced 4-year-old, making his 3rd start off the layoff for trainer Steve Asmussen. Beyer speed figures going the right way. Got beaten by a nice horse last time out in Warrior's Charge. That horse is stakes bound. Gunnett earned a 90 Beyer speed figure that day, and if you think Timeform US's pace projector is right, and this horse is either able to set up shop on the lead or just off the flank of the number 2 Silver Dust, well, then a good trip is coming. This horse has always hinted at potential, and maybe he's going to realize that potential with a good trip on Saturday. The 5 is Captivating Moon. Captivating Moon won last time out in an off-the-turf race over sloppy going, and that's kind of been the story for Captivating Moon's dirt career. He's more of a turf horse, but when he gets a wet track, he perks up, as we've seen in 2 out of his last 3 races. horses. 2 starts back on fast going, Blended Citizen handled him without many problems. Upgrade this horse obviously on a wet track. I'm going to take a wait and see approach on dry footing. The 6 is Wyland, and this horse was kind of on the Kentucky Derby trail here last year, 3rd in the Risen Star Stakes. They ran him in the Louisiana Derby. They ran him in the Lexington. He got a well-deserved break after a dismal effort in the Indiana Derby, and he scored last time out in an off-the-turf race. I think he's just getting back into form. My main issue with this horse is he has not gotten faster on the Beyer speed figure scale since the spring of 2019, and he's going to have to run faster if he's going to win a race like this. Steve Asmussen has Tone Broke, and all Tone Broke did last year was win 2/3 of the Canadian Triple Crown, and he ran 3rd in the other one, the Queen's Plate. Let's go back to the second leg. The Prince of Wales Stakes on dirt, going 1 mile and 3/16. He's on the outside, and he just really wants this added distance, I think, more than the other horses, and he grinds them down to win. He backed this race up with a win at 1.5 miles. They ran him in the Jockey Club Derby at Belmont, going 1.5 miles on the turf. It was a very tough spot against tough European competition, and he wasn't up to it. I think this horse wants more ground. I know he's run well at 1 mile and a 16th in the past, but I think if he's going to win a race like this, he's going to need a lot of pace, which he may not get. Keep an eye out for this horse as he stretches out down the road. I think he wants more distance. Kukulcan dominated last time out on the Classico card at Gulfstream for the 2nd consecutive year. We'll watch that race. He just toys with this field. He is 1-20, and he looks like it. He's turning into the stretch. His ears are pricked. He is playing around. He wins by 6. I'm not concerned with the low Beyer. If you remember last year in the Caribbean Classic, he earned a 70 Beyer, and all he did later in the year was pop 95s and 97s and came within a half length of Silver Dust in the West Virginia Governor's Cup. Kukulcan is an honest horse. He saved something for this race, as you saw at the end under Arad Ortiz. He's got tactical speed as well. We'll see how he handles the graded ranks. He's yet to conquer graded stakes competition in the United States, but his lifetime record speaks for itself. We take a look at my top pick for the Grade 3 Louisiana Stakes. I'm a fanboy for Silver Dust. I like him turning back in distance. I think he's going to sit a great trip sitting off the leaders. I went 2, 3, 5, and 4 in the Grade 3 Louisiana. Race number 10 at the fairgrounds on Saturday has an approximate post time of 4:21 Central. Best of luck.